And there's a guy that just had to draw his last fight, right? So then, what are we talking about? It ain't really nothing to even talk about. It is what it is. I ain't tripping. You know, it's funny to me. It's all jokes.
People go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't there at that night. Lamont wasn't having it. And he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So
anybody, but you know, Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, "Oh, he gonna win." Oh, he gonna win. No.
Chaos erupted at an airport when GervontaDavis allegedly confronted Floyd Mayweather, who was with his wife and bodyguards. Floyd looked stunned by the unexpected face-off. Tension gripped the scene as both sides stood firm, drawing shocked reactions from bystanders who watched the dramatic moment unfold.
I think all this announced it today. So what do you think, you know, considering you were one of the handful of people to pick Lamont Roach, giving him a tough fight? What do you think?
I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
Did you think Lamont won the first fight? 154 and fight.
I asked two questions at the same time. I ain't hear shit y'all just asked.
Do you really want to move up to 154 after this fight?
Rumors that Floyd Mayweather is training GervontaDavis' next opponent, Lamont Roach, have sparked serious tension for Davis. This fight feels personal. The idea that his former mentor might be helping the other side has stirred deep feelings. A betrayal, even if unconfirmed. The speculation adds emotional fuel to a fight that was already intense.
Roach, what are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out part of the Roach, but we've kind of ever seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. But when they're in the pro rounds takeover, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet? Or is Tank too superior to as a pro? And that's where the difference could come in at.
Roach is coming up on weight. That, you know, a lot of people keep on saying that's a very big disadvantage for Roach. His power might not transfer to, you know, to this weight class. What do you got to say about that to the critics?
Well, I ain't really got nothing to say to the critics, because most of the time they don't know the hell they talking about no weight, but I was able to carry my weight from 154 to heavyweight. If you know how to do it right, then your weight, your punch will come to you. You don't know how to do it right, then yeah, you're going to lose your punch. So if he's a good, fundamentally sound fighter with a punch, he's going to have a punch at 130, till he's going to have a punch at 140. If he's not really fundamentally that sound, then he won't. That's why Tank was able to jump around. Tank fought between 130 and 140, whatever weight he wanted to. Why? Because he's a great fundamental puncher. So his punch going to be the same no matter what weight he got on. If you are fundamentally sound, that don't matter. But if you're not fundamentally sound, then yeah, what way you going to lose your punch?
Over the years, Mayweather's actions have raised doubts about his real intentions toward Davis. Though he's praised Davis publicly, his behind-the-scenes behavior has often told a different story. One controversial moment came when Floyd reportedly gave advice on Davis's style to Frank Martin, another opponent. Given Floyd's insight into Davis's habits, sharing that knowledge feels like a direct betrayal, suggesting his mentorship may have always had hidden motives.
Is the rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate, because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the tournament on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight, I'm not going to lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half, so what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? Just really had your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision of the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely get off of just a personal opinion of the person, a history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank did really show him something at the second half, I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. You know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's a flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. Now, I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch this shit again.
The emotional toll on Davis was undeniable. He once saw Floyd not just as a promoter, but as a mentor. Realizing that Mayweather might now be working against him left Davis feeling isolated. The hurt wasn't just business, it was personal. Having to question someone who helped shape your career cuts deeper than any loss in the ring.
What would be your hardest matchup? Devin Haney, Tank, or would it be Ryan Garcia?
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash. It's gonna be Tank. I ain't said it before, but I'm gonna say it like me and him the big fight.
Mayweather recently teased a new documentary claiming to expose behind-the-scenes truths, including content involving Davis. He suggested the footage would reveal never-before-seen secrets. Many believe this is the final blow in their fractured relationship. Instead of working things out privately, Floyd appears ready to go public for Davis. The message is loud and clear. Whatever they had is over.
Me and Tank, it's the biggest fight in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be the biggest boxing fight in the world when it happens. I can see it happening not too far in the future.
Really?
I can see it happening. I don't think, like, I think Tank will sign that contract.
Dang.
And I'm going to sign a contract too, so it's
Now
like,
you're gonna get it on.
yeah.
Though Tank Davis has recognized Shakur Stevenson's quickness and technical.
Calvin Ford, Davis's longtime trainer, didn't hold back when asked about Floyd helping Frank Martin. He voiced frustration, saying actions like this reveal a person's true nature. Having watched Davis rise from nothing, Ford's disappointment highlights how the fallout with Mayweather has affected the entire team. It wasn't just Davis who felt betrayed.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
So what do you say to those who
Y'all
might
keep
be
saying his name
afraid?
for?
So what do you say to those who might be saying that, you know, Tank is afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what? Afraid of what? Us fighters, if we're afraid of somebody. It got to be somebody hitting us and hurting us. Like, he don't have no offense. Everything is defense. Defense only win in basketball and football. That shit in boxing.
In a bold move, Davis recently opened up about his fight earning something that had been tightly controlled under Mayweather Promotions. He revealed that he wasn't being paid fairly back then, sending a strong message. He's done hiding the truth. This moment marked a major shift in his journey toward financial and professional independence.
Client, why would I allow you to fight these fights just for you to knock somebody out if it's not a numbers game?
Good question.
The money.
That's the only number that matters.
The money.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into it. Speaking of money, lots of people have talked about, oh, he's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, what, both times in the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial for
You're
sure.
cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
He cool to me.
he's cool to you.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He has.
No, he hasn't.
He has
Yeah,
not.
that's what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
confirming that he hasn't said
He has
anything.
not said anything differently. So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
I mean, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody. Like, anyway, but if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm gonna be an easy cakewalk,
Yeah.
everybody in the world know that's not gonna happen. I mean, like, that's not gonna happen. Him personally, he know that. I think he chose me because I am gonna be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Davis hasn't stayed silent about the shift in his relationship with Floyd. He says that while Floyd looked supportive in public, his actions behind the scenes told a different story. Davis believes Floyd may have resented his growing success and saw it as a threat. That jealousy, he now thinks, could be the reason Floyd started helping his rivals.
I don't know Lamont Roach, but, you know, when you're looking at Shakur Stevenson, when you're looking at, you know, these other fighters that he should really be fighting, you know, he don't want to do them fights. He wants to retire.
Yeah. So don't come and but don't come and come at me.
Yeah.
And go, oh yeah, let's give it all, very big bollocks, and go, oh yeah, let's give him some stick, and then make out like we want the fight. And then we send an offer over, and then you fight for 15 million, and yet you fight Lamont Roach. Don't do all that. Do you know what I mean?
It was a real offer. That was true then.
It was a real offer. We offered. I said, listen, you keep talking my promoter's going to get back to you in 48 hours. 50 minutes. Initial offer sent over. But was it Unquile didn't let him out to play? His boss didn't let him out. That's it. So he wants to talk about 50 million. First offer.
There was room to negotiate.
Of course there was. But he's an idiot. I don't even know if he knows what negotiating means.
Critics have long said Davis's opponents were carefully chosen to protect his perfect record. Many believe Floyd played a role in that, strategically picking less dangerous fights. While Davis clearly has elite talent, it's the tough opponents who will define his legacy. There's a fear that Mayweather's matchmaking may have held him back.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down. Or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Mayweather was once seen as a guiding figure in Davis's rise. He gave him visibility, advice, and star power. For years, Floyd proudly took credit for Davis's success. But now, that dynamic has changed. Davis wants to build his own legacy and step out from under Floyd's shadow. Even during the good times, Davis sometimes felt overshadowed. Floyd often dominated the spotlight, making Davis feel more like a supporting act. Davis wanted control over his fights, career, and image. Leonard Ellerby from Mayweather Promotions confirmed that Davis was never locked into a contract. That statement made it clear Davis was free to step out and lead his own journey.